Hello everyone, welcome to Perseverance IA. So, hope you're all doing well and staying safe. So, today is August 16th, 2021. Let us begin with the articles that you have to read in the Hindu newspaper. Before going into that, I would request you to please subscribe, comment, share on this video. So, the first article is Afghan President Ghani leaves country as Taliban reach Kabul. This is the final nail in the coffin for Afghanistan, which completes the takeover of Taliban Afghanistan into the hands of Taliban from a democratically elected government. So from that perspective, so please do read this article. The next one is next 25 years crucial for India's development. PM. The speech is important because he talks about a new form of developmental model that is based on infrastructure, and he brought in the idea of this thing called sabka saath sabka vikas and sabka prayas. So try to remember that, and please do read this article from that perspective as to how important it is. Are there any schemes? As far as I know, no schemes were announced. The development model or the new infrastructure model will be announced in the next few days. Please do wait for that. The next article is CJ reviews state of affairs in lawmaking. So my suggestion would be this is regards to the recent abolition of tribunals. Certainly, 8 tribunals in through a government amendment or government act. So the first thing that you have to read is Hindu doesn't carry much information regarding this. Please go to Indian Express. They have a very good article regarding the 8 tribunals that were dissolved by the act of government. Please do read this article and also that article in Indian Express. Now moving on, trekking the highest battlefield in the world. This is regarding a group of disabled people with disabilities trying to trek the heights of Siachen Glacier. So the idea is that you please understand what operation. So remember, from map pointing perspective, please do read this article. Apart from that, not that significant. So moving on to page number 4, that is Northeast. That article you have to read is some villages tell wetlands tragic tale through photos. Now go to the Hindu newspaper. Recently, yesterday I think, 4 new sites, wetland sites were added to Ramsar convention list. 2 from Haryana and 2 from Gujarat. Please remember and write down their names. I think you'll find it in yesterday's Hindu online edition. I didn't see it in the e-paper. So please go and search 2 new Ramsar Convention wetlands added to the convention list. The total number of wetlands in India as of now is 46. Earlier it was 42. With addition of 2 from Haryana and 2 from Gujarat, the number went from 42 to 46. Please do remember the important list of Ramsar Convention sites in India. Possible question in prelims. Now moving on to page number 6, that is editorial. The important article that you have to read is India's fate is tied to the rest of the world. This gives you an idea of how India had to contend with international relations since its independence and much prior to that also. The next article that you have to read today is Memories, that is Remembering Partition by Involving Pakistan. This is in regards to the recent announcement that August 14th will be marked as Partition Horrors Remembers Day after 74 years of independence. This article is important. Now, the article that you can wish to read or skip is Regional Identity and Being Part of Mainstream. Good ideas, but nonetheless, a lot of data that you are not required to remember for exams. Now, moving on, op-ed, an oath in whose name. This is in regards to the allegiance of a government person or a person holding an authority or a constitutional post in India. And please do read this article from an observer standpoint of view. It gives a comparison of how US does it and how India does it. So from that perspective, please do read this article. Now moving on to page number 8, a lot of news regarding Taliban and certain other things. But two important articles that stand out are the Assam tea quality rights on bicycle balls. This is regarding the biometric method that is used to separate tea leaves in Assam. The plausible prelims question because of the method that is being used. Try to learn more about the method that is used to separate tea leaves into 2 or 3 groups. Next one is 6,808 dead in rain cyclones in 3 years. This gives you an idea as to what kind of a devastation that hydrological events or calamities have on India. The reason that we are reading this article, the number may not be effective, but the idea that data suggests that the number of hydrometeorological events had gone up is an indicator of the climate change, and kind of adds credence to the IPCC report that was recently released. So just an awareness article, not important for any of the exams. Now moving on to page number 9, no new agenda scheme in Modi's Red Fort address. Again, this is related to the idea of India. The Gati Shakti is the scheme that the government of India is going to announce in the next few days. Wait and read more about the Gati Shakti scheme and what factors that it. When it is announced, I'll make it a point to discuss it in detail in the upcoming videos. Now moving on to page number 10, rising judicial vacancies post challenge. Two things, what is collegium, how collegium appointments takes place, what are the challenges in judicial appointments, why it is always so secretive in nature. From that perspective, what are the need of reforms in judicial appointments is also to be discussed. Next, gender equity in judicial appointments is also one point that you have to read from this perspective. This article is important. Now moving on, in I-Day greetings, Biden Lord's ties. Talks about Quad, just an informative, not important from exam point of view. Now moving on to page number 11, that is World Afghans fear a return to brutal Taliban regime. Gives you an idea of how Taliban used to run before they were ousted by the Americans in 2001. From that perspective, read this article. Now, one article that I failed to identify was the Japan minister's visit to controversial shrine. Possible prelims question. Please be aware of where it is, what is its significance. Now, just an observation point of view article. Israel condemns Poland restitution law. What you need to read from this article is what is restitution law. That way, you will be covered both in Indian law and in international law. That will help you in prelims. So moving on, a little bit of sports news, but I wasn't going to concentrate much on it. But what I wanted to point out was, please do read a lot about Target Olympic Podium scheme. I failed to mention it in earlier news when gold was being discussed, gold medal was being discussed. Please do read a bit about a Target Olympic Podium scheme and how it will help India in future Olympics or international sports events. So these are the important articles that you have to read in the Hindu newspaper for today. Please do subscribe. Please do leave a comment as to how could we help you in your preparation. If you have any ideas, please do share them through our comments. And one more thing, we are launching something new that might help in your preparation. Once we launch it, will make you aware of it. Hope you follow us there too. Thank you, stay safe, and thanks for all the support.